Welcome back to my channel. And today is March 21st and happy Spring Equinox. Yesterday was the Spring Equinox. It's often on the 21st, but this year it was on the 20th. And we're going to be in this equinox window for a little bit of time, a few days anyway. I want to invite you to take part in a Breath of Fire series that I posted yesterday, and you can go and find it right here if you haven't seen it already. This is a really potent series of mudras that go with Breath of Fire. It's about 40 minutes long, so it's a little bit more advanced than some of the other Breath of Fire practices that I provided to you, but it is doable. And so I want to encourage you to go and check it out and give it a try. Because here at this fulcrum point, moving into spring, it's really great for us to just be moving energy, to be cleansing out any stagnation that we have, heaviness, old thought forms, old emotions, old identities that we were carrying around with us through the winter. Really, it's kind of like spring cleaning for your auric field, right? And it's also great for if you're a sacral being. So if you're a generator or a manifesting generator, this will help you really cleanse your sacral energy and also build up that fire. And if you're a non-sacral being, it'll help you build the Agni, or the fire of the sacral, even though you don't have it defined in your chart. So what that means is it will not be sustainable for you, like you won't have long-term sustainable energy, but it will give you a boost to the energy of the sacral. And that's your life force energy. Everybody's got life force, whether you have a defined sacral or not. Everybody's got life force. So it's going to give you a real boost to your life force energy. It's also excellent for your deconditioning and your deprogramming. Breath of Fire is a very, very cleansing practice. And I did it for 130 days once. I did 31 minutes of Breath of Fire for 130 days. And it was miraculous. I was a different person by the end of that. And I can say that there were days where when I was doing it, I would actually have tears, no content. Like I didn't have a story about it. I didn't have a memory about it. It wasn't connected to anything in particular, but it was just helping to clear out old emotional energy that I had that I didn't need anymore, that was in my way. So that's just an example of what using Breath of Fire can do. And in this particular practice, we're building the heart, we're opening the throat, we're opening up our connection to source, and then we're bringing it back and really stabilizing it here at the heart. So it's a very potent practice, and I invite you to do it. And if you can't do all of it, it's okay. Just visualize it, stay in it, and do the very best that you can. And you might be amazed at the results. To celebrate that this is the time of Ostara, I'm going to be offering Activate Your Feminine Sovereignty Intensive. It starts on April 4th, so I want you to just go ahead and put that in your calendar. It's going to go for a week, so starting on April 4th. I don't have the registration page up for it yet, but I wanted to let you know so that you could go ahead and put it in your calendar. We're going to be diving into feminine sovereignty, why we need this so much in our life right now, what it's going to give you as you develop this, and what is in your way of really becoming fully sovereign in command of your life, and what you can be doing right away in order to be developing this for yourself. I'm excited to be bringing this body of work out more and more into the world, and you're going to be among the first people who are going to be receiving me talking about this in this particular way. So I hope that you will join us starting on April 4th. This is my gift to you because it is my birthday time, and I always like to do special gifts during my birthday. We moved into the transit that we're in right now last Saturday on March 19th. And in last week's transit report, I talked quite a bit about that. So if you haven't seen it already, you can go and find out about the current transit that we're in. The sun is in the gate 25 and the earth is in the gate 46. These are both on the G center, which is the center for love and lovability, for identity and direction. And the gate 25 is the gate of spirit. It's the love of spirit. And the 46 is embodiment, or the love of the body. These are two of my favorite gates. And so it's a really wonderful time, as we're going into this springtime energy, to be really opening our hearts and cultivating our connection and our love with spirit, and also our love of the body and our embodiment, which is another reason that practice that I created is so perfect for you for this time. These are also connected to the pillars of feminine sovereignty. Pillar number 5 of feminine sovereignty is vitality, embodiment, and our connection to the natural world. And so when we connect with what's happening with the equinoxes and the solstices, then that is building our mastery in pillar number 3. And it's also with our love of the body, is very connected to pillar number 3. And these practices help us also with our physical vitality. The practice is also connected to pillar number 4, which is energetic mastery. And so when we're working with the breath in this way, we are really building our prana, building our life force energy, and we are taking command of our own energy field, and we're building that energy. We're cleansing it. We're building it. We're basically taking care of it. We're cultivating it the same way that we do with our physical body, but now we're doing it with our energy body. And that will help us connect with our love of the spirit as well, and also with the love of the body. So again, I encourage you to do that practice. The spring equinox is a great time also to be setting and resetting your intentions for what you want to create this year. You may have had some things that, didn't go so well from the beginning of the year, because wintertime is still pretty heavy. There are certain traditions in which you really do that kind of projection for the year more in the springtime than you do in the winter. So if you feel like you want to reset some intentions, or you want to revise some intentions, this is the time of year, the springtime coming up, that is the most expansive time of the year. Even though the days started getting longer right after the winter solstice, we really feel it at this time of year. And it's like we get projected out into springtime with much, much longer days. And it's not just a matter of having more sunlight and having warmer days. It's also that our whole energy is like the sap rises in us as this is occurring. And you have so much to take advantage of right now. And all the planets are going direct right now. They're all in direct motion. And we don't have a retrograde until the end of April. So this next month is a really good time for you to be moving forward with what you want to in your life. The flow of life is really going to be with you. And the more that you tap into that, the less of your own energy you have to use in order to create what you want in your life. Of course, you always want to be tapping into your inner authority to find out if it's the right time to move into something, and you want to enter things correctly according to your strategy. So all of that is still true. And we have this incredible energy moving forward right now. So I want to encourage you to take your best advantage of it. Then this coming Friday, March 25th, the sun and the earth are going to move again. The sun will move into the gate 17 and the earth will move into the gate 18. So this is a big shift because we're moving out of the sensing circuit and the centering circuit. One was right-brained energy and one was more individual energy. And both of these are in the logic circuit or the pattern circuit. And what that means is both of these energies have a potential edge to them. Okay, we need to be aware of the edge that they can have. So the gate 17 in traditional human design is known as the gate of opinions, and in quantum human design is known as the gate of anticipation. Now, the 17 is up here on the Ajna Center. And so the Ajna Center is the center for analysis and data storage. I think of it as the thinking mind is what the Ajna is. And so that 17 is receiving energy that's coming in, from the logic circuit, from the 63-4 and crossing over in the Ajna, and then it's going to come down through the right side of the body. In traditional human design, in, that was kind of negative, right? It's coming in through the gate of doubt, right? To the gate of opinions. And so we want to watch out for expressing our opinions as if they were truth, right? I mean, we all have points of view. We're all entitled to have an opinion, but nobody's opinion is truth, right? Not with a capital T. We all have a point of view, and points of view are necessarily limited just by their very nature. And so this idea of anticipation really kind of flips that around to say, yes, we're receiving information, renaming that the beginning of the logic circuit as curiosity from doubt. We're being curious about it, and we're wondering about it, and we're thinking, wow, what could possibly be coming true now, right? What are the potentials that are coming in? And so there's a kind of positive anticipation. So it's not about so much, I know this and I'm going to stick by it and I'm going to express my opinion and, screw you if you don't agree with me. No, it's not about that. It's about being curious and receiving this information and having anticipation about the possibilities and the potentials that are coming through. Just as it is with all of the circuits that start in the head and come down. All of them are this way. They're all bringing in different kinds of information, insights, epiphanies, and so on. And with the logic circuit, it's a little bit more logical, but still it is full of potential. The ajna by nature is a little more analytical and a little bit more, as I said, a little bit more data oriented. And so the energy of that 17 does have that left brain quality to it. But, left brain quality, we absolutely need to have our left brain. I've just been reading Whole Brain Living by Jill Bolte Taylor. You've heard me talk about this because this book is kind of blowing my mind. And she is the neuroanatomist who had a stroke and basically lost her left brain and had to completely rebuild her left brain over a period of 8 years. And when she describes what she couldn't do when she lost her left brain, like she couldn't talk, she couldn't communicate, she couldn't even control her body. So we need our left brain and it helps us know who we are as an individual, right? Because when you don't have a left brain, you really are just merged with the all that is. And even though in our spiritual practice, we love this idea of being able to connect with the cosmos and feel that we're a part of the web of life, we don't want to disintegrate our whole sense of being into that because then we become non-functional. Right? And you may have met people who are like that, who really couldn't function on the earth plane because they were a little too much in the cosmos. So we need our left brain. So let's honor the energy of the 17 and the energy of the 18. So the earth is going to move into the gate 18. Now the gate 18 often gets a bad rap because it is known as the gate of correction in traditional human design or realignment in quantum human design. And it can definitely have an edge. I have a super good friend who has the gate 18, and sometimes her communication really has this edge where it's kind of like, like correcting. She also went to Catholic school, so that might have had something to do with it also. And correcting is not a bad thing by nature, right? I mean, if you were to pick up a book that was full of typos, you would have wished that someone would have corrected it, right? It's very annoying when you see things like that. So you do want to have this energy of correction, but you might prefer to embrace it as realignment, bringing things back into a realignment, bringing things back into order. I like to kind of think of it as in order. And it is in the logic circuit, which is also in quantum human design known as the pattern circuit. So it's about bringing things back into patterns that are effective for us and helpful for us. Of course, I talk a lot about breaking patterns and pattern interrupt. And of course, we want to be able to do that too when we have patterns that are not helping us, particularly if we have programmed ways of being, programmed ways of thinking about who we are, what the possibilities for our lives are, what relationship could be like, what other people could be like, all of that, right? When we have this really programmed way of doing that and we're living inside of that kind of a pattern, then I'm all for pattern interrupt. And we also need patterns. Patterns are helpful for us. Programs are helpful for us, right? Like I said, we need to remember how to talk. That is a program that we learned, which is now embedded in us. We don't want to have to learn how to retalk every single day, right? And so being able to realign our speech, for example, being able to bring our speech in alignment with our heart, right? If we have had a habit of being judgmental or of being harsh at all, or of not speaking up when we want to speak up, then we want to be able to correct those patterns and be able to soften our communication if need be, or be able to speak up more for ourselves if need be, whatever that might be. Or we want to have a patterned response when we are thinking about going and exercising, and part of us is like, I don't really want to do that. But we have patterned in that we feel better when we exercise, and so we go and do that, right? We call that a habit. We call that a positive habit, but it's also a kind of pattern. And so when we fall off and we realize we haven't exercised for a week, we want to correct that pattern, right? We want to bring it back into alignment, and we want to start doing our exercise again, because we know in our heart of hearts, we actually do feel a whole lot better. So we're going to go ahead and do it. And so you can use the energy of the gate 18 in that kind of way also. It's not necessarily about criticizing oneself or criticizing other people or criticizing, the government or whatever. It can be about how do we embrace and embody and express patterns that actually work for us and bring things back into alignment so that they do work for us. So we can ground ourselves in that starting on Friday, carrying through into the next week. And as we do that, that then enables us to be able to tune into right timing for expressing our opinions, right? Or our points of view, or the potentials and the possibilities that are coming to us, because we do want to be able to express those, but we want to do it when it's at the right time and when people are ready to hear them and when it's the right people and the right situation. Because there's nothing more annoying than being, at a dinner party where somebody gets on their soapbox and they're just expressing these opinions and nobody really wants to hear it, right? You don't be that person. Right? Don't be that person. I don't want to be that person. I have on occasion been that person. I actually have this defined in my chart, so I've had to learn how to work with that gate 17. But, and express yourself and get on your soapbox when it's the right time, because then you're going to be contributing a lot of value to other people and to the world. But it has to be the right time, the right situation, and with the right people. So the sun is going to be making that possible as we move through this next transit. You just want to make sure that as you do this, that you're grounded really in that higher expression, the more awakened expression of that 18, so that it does not come out with an edge. It does not come out as critical. Because can you imagine, right? Opinions that are really critical? Ew. We don't want to do that. But that's the potential in the shadow and the disempowered state coming up this week. So you really want to be watching for those pitfalls and making sure that your communication is coming from the highest state of wanting to contribute to others, wanting to be of service, and you're tuning to, is this going to bring something back into alignment? Is it going to create more order in a positive sense? Is it going to be utilizing the more positive and uplifting and full of potential and possibility aspect of that logic pattern circuit? Right? And so that's what you want to be asking yourself as we move forward during this time. If you haven't already, I really encourage you to get my Transform Your Life with Human Design audio ebook series. I'm going to link to it at the end of this video. And this series is for you if you're attracted to human design. You don't have to know a lot about it. It actually leads you through all of the core components of human design and gives you training in that. But more than that, it also guides you step by step to understand how you can use human design in order to actually transform your life. So if you've been having relationship issues, if you haven't understood what your purpose is, if you aren't certain really kind of who you are in the world, if you want to be able to unleash yourself from the confines of different conditioning and patterns like we were just talking about that have held you back in your life, then I really encourage you to go check this out. I'll provide the link down in the description at the end of the video. All right, many blessings, much love. Bye for now.